They only want to talk about the good parts and not the bad parts. I think that's the thing that the SEC maybe needs to get over and say, like, okay, look, here's our resume. Here it is. Do it. And I don't think they're winning any fans by, or at least any support by complaining and ignoring the whole thing.
Well, this is kind of a weird comparison, right? But you remember when Caitlin Clark first got to the WNBA and people were like, "Oh, she's not playing very well," but it's actually because like the league is too physical and they don't treat her right, and I'm gonna stop watching if you don't treat Caitlin Clark better. Well, people said all that stuff and people kept watching. With the NFL, right? A couple of years ago, it was like, well, we're gonna stop watching if you don't do X or Y, and then people didn't stop watching. Like that's to me what all of this is. It's people trying to be like, well, obviously we didn't succeed as much as we wanted on the field, so we're gonna use our power. We're gonna use a threat instead of actually addressing things. Let's be real. Texas is not going to cancel Ohio State coming into their stadium next year. That's not a thing that's going to happen. They're not going to stop scheduling good non-conference games because, by the way, they make a lot of money off of those games, which is a huge part of why they're able to be the kind of brand that they are at this point, because they play in big-time games. That's what all of this SEC lobbying feels like to me. It feels like they're like, well, if you don't treat us right, we're just going to take our ball and go home, which one I think are generally empty threats, and two are just to a certain extent embarrassing to me. Just play the games, win. Like Alabama last year was not a good enough team for you to stake your reputation over. Texas this year is not a good enough team for the SEC to stake its reputation over. There are so many teams that are in the playoff right now, Georgia, Alabama, Texas A&M, that are high quality teams that obviously deserve to be there and will have a chance to compete for a national championship. I think that the idea that the SEC will or should focus on getting a sixth team in or whatever, just because of that, it's just a silly thing to me. And I think that the thing that's most frustrating to me of these past 2 years, specifically with hypothetically Alabama and Texas getting left out, is it just launched a level of discourse that wasn't actually about college football that I think is just exhausting to deal with.